here with Ryan Imamura over at the Grammy Museum. How does it feel to be in LA at the Grammy Museum?
Half a day, everybody. And it feels awesome right now to be in LA. Traveled about 14 hours from Guam, so it's definitely a great little adventure away from home and great feeling to be playing at the Grammy Museum.
Definitely. And is this your first time in LA, or you've been here a few times?
Actually, I've been out here when I was, I think, around 2008 for my cousin's wedding. So I played for his wedding, and it's been a while since since the last came back.
So this is actually your kind of like you could say official performance, or can you say that? Like, I mean, you did with your cousin's wedding, but this is actually in front of the public or whatnot.
Yeah, so it's like I guess you could say like another promotional tour. So it's an official gig in LA this time.
So tell me a little bit more. How did you get into ukulele and music and all that good stuff?
Well, I started that summer when my cousin came home from college. My cousin Chris and his brother was one I played for his wedding. And so he came home with an ukulele from college, and he sat me down and said, "Ryan, I'm gonna teach you a couple of songs." And that was my 5th grade year, so 2005. So he taught me a couple chords, and I learned the chords, learned a couple of songs, and from there he had to go back to college, so I was left to teach myself. So I was left with a computer, an ukulele, and my imagination. So from there I kind of just had to teach myself by ear. My dad started me off in guitar at an early age, but I kind of ventured off from that as soon as I found the uke.
Yeah. And then when did you realize that people are starting to listen to you and watch you? Was it on YouTube or just different events over in Guam or whatnot?
Yeah, I'd say it started off from YouTube because I posted my first video around 2007, I believe. And that was my first YouTube video. That was fun. YouTube was kind of the hot thing. And so, everyone was streaming videos, and so my dad made an account, and it's still open, it's still active. I'm still posting some videos. I've been really bad at updating it, but I'm still using it, and from there just kind of spread open to gigs and other opportunities such as the LA tour. Right. I was in Australia with the KoAloha gang. I also did a couple stuff in Japan, and gigs back home as well.
Yeah. So tell us, how did you get involved with the KoAloha gang?
It actually started. The the KoAloha team actually. We had a meeting with them back when 2011. I actually have a club back home that I started, an ukulele club at my old middle school. So I started that. I wanted to leave a legacy behind before I graduated middle school. So I took them back in 2011 to Hawaii to play for the Royce Akuma's Ukulele Festival, and back there I paid a trip to the KoAloha factory. And I visited Alan and Paul and Brian, and everyone else said hi and played a couple of songs for them. Wow. And I was very fortunate enough to have landed a sponsorship with them. They asked me to sign up with join their family and play their instruments, and I couldn't resist the offer. And ever since then, I've been having a lot of opportunities with them. So the Japan trip, this trip, it's been a wonderful experience so far.
Right. And was your first ukulele, was it a kala?
No, my very first one was probably like a $50, really tiny ukulele. It was, the kinds where it only went up to, I think, the 15th fret. So it was kind of, I need a little more space to work out some more arrangements on it. But that was more of like a toy.
and what is your inspiration in being a musician and more specifically a ukulele musician?
My inspiration is primarily just to spread the instrument first and foremost. I mean, the ukulele it's definitely getting out there. It's a lot more out there than it was before. Artists, like Jake and all these other instrumentalists now have been changing the way people perceive the instrument. So what used to be like a tiny 4-string kind of toy, it kind of evolved into an actual instrument that people use in concerts now. Right. And I guess for me, it's finding a way to take genres such as pop, modern day music, and kind of transform them so that you can play them on the ukulele and show people that this is an instrument. It's not a toy. You can actually use it to play with and have it in a band and stuff like that. And
right. And then for here at the Grammy Museum, it's going to be ukulele Beatles. Why Beatles?
Because the Beatles are kind of George Harrison was actually an ukulele player, so a lot of people don't know that. And so the Beatles, everybody knows them. They're an icon, and so they kind of helped revolutionize the whole music industry into what it is today. And we got to feature them somehow. And so this is our little ode to the Beatles.
And then lastly, what do you want to say to anybody that wants to pick up a uke? What's the most important thing to know about getting into playing the ukulele?
Honestly, the ukulele is a really fun instrument to pick up. It's really easy in terms of the difficulty. So like when you first start it, the jump isn't too bad. You can actually learn a couple of chords in a couple of hours. And so I guess the most important thing is just consistency. So if you set aside a couple hours a day to practice, like how I did, you can definitely learn a couple of songs, a song or two in a week's time. So the learning curve isn't too bad. Yeah.
So it's if somebody that doesn't really have a lot of musical background, it's easier.
Yeah, by far. The learning curve isn't really bad at all. So you can pick it up, like I said, a couple hours, learn a couple chords, and you're on your way to learning a couple songs.
Well, definitely they want to hear more of you. Shout out all your social media so they can check you out and follow you.
Yeah, check me out on Facebook, Ryan Imamura, or I have a Twitter, but you can check me out on Instagram. I have those too, and my website is ryan-imamura.com. So check me out on those.
Oh yeah, and lastly,
on YouTube.
lastly, I noticed when I was looking you up, is there a fighter or like a?
No, apparently there's some kind of bodybuilder. Yeah, he's a Japanese bodybuilder, really big dude. Yeah, Ryan Imamura. So I'd like to meet him too one day.
So that means you're gonna be you might become a bodybuilding ukulele player.
Oh, I wish, but yeah, that guy's a beast. We get mixed up. I get that's not the first time someone asked me that question, but yeah, apparently there's someone masquerading as a Ryan Imamura, so I maybe have a doppelganger.
Well, there you go, and hopefully that doppelganger will learn how to play an uk like you.
That'll be sweet.
Right,
You can trade, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And that was Ryan Imamura.
Thank you very much.